When I graduated from high school, I wanted to be an accountant. And when I got into college, I recognized quickly that all the courses that I really loved were ones that required me to reason and debate and think and persuade others. Harvard Law School came to the campus of Douglas College for a visit. And after that visit, it was apparent to me that I was kind of born to be a lawyer.
My mother was a teacher in the New York City school system. So after school, I was required to go to the library to do my homework until both my parents got home. And in doing so, I started reading books in the occupational section, and obviously starting with the A's. I started with, at one point I wanted to be an architect. And then I read a book by, the author was Talcott Smith, as I recall, and it was called Lawyer.
I had been practicing for a few years, and two young men approached me and asked me if I wanted to be a municipal court judge. It was totally unsolicited. I never inquired about it. And they approached me on December 26th, 1998. Within 7 days, I was sworn in as the municipal court judge in Neptune. At that point, I was the first African-American municipal court judge in the county, and I absolutely loved it.
I knew I wanted to become a judge probably 5 to 6 years after practicing. I was a litigator. I had a case that I tried before a judge in Union County, and I thought the judge just did a wonderful job in terms of his rulings with respect to the rules of evidence and the way the trial went, and the way the trial went and the results of the trial. And it was after that that I said, you know, I think I could probably do this and do it well.
I think the biggest obstacle for me was perception. When I started practicing law in this county in 1992, I could count the number of black attorneys in the county on two hands. There were less than 10. Judge Lawson, my predecessor in this job, was one of them. And usually people are able to get opportunities when people are familiar with them. And it was very apparent to me that people had never seen very few black lawyers and even very few black women lawyers. And doesn't mean that somebody is a racist at all. It's just that's not their familiar. And when people don't see you in a particular job, it is difficult to break down those barriers to let them know that I am capable of doing this. I am competent, I can do it, and you should give me that opportunity. It's very difficult to send the message to people, and you do that by the way you work, your work ethic, your practice and performance, to let them know me being a black lawyer, a black judge is a possibility, and you should give me that opportunity.
You certainly have to be proficient at what you do. You have to engage in a lot of after-hours meetings. You have to make sure that people know who you are, and I'd say that those are the difficult parts of it. In terms of the skill set, if you have litigated cases, if you have prepared yourself with respect to the law prior to trial, and that's where cases are really won in preparation, then I think that you've probably prepared yourself in terms of the academic and skill sets for the job. The political process is really that's where the major hurdles are.
If you think that we live in a life, women, people of color, where there's a level playing field, there's not, and that's just the reality. If you're bothered by it and you let it shake you and take you off your course, that will be a problem. So for any young people, you have to know you got to work really hard. Nobody gives anything to you. You have to be resilient. You have to have a thick skin. You have to be focused. Oftentimes, particularly when I get many of my law clerks, I tell them, if you don't want to work hard, this is not the job for you. And that is very, very, very important. I always say to people, the way I got this job is not because I was the smartest lawyer or judge in the state of New Jersey. Many people that are smarter than me. There are few people that can work harder than me, and that's important.
Focus, persevere, and don't let anyone turn you away from your goals. You will always meet people who can tell you you cannot do something. Ignore those people. Follow your own dreams. And as long as you're willing to persevere, and I'm living proof of it, as long as you're willing to persevere, you will achieve your goals. That's basically the message.
Folks often look at the fact that we have an African-American president to assume that everything is right for women, people of color, gay rights, all these different issues. It's not. Things aren't fair, but you have to be resilient. It was obvious to me when I first started practicing law. I would go to law offices, I would go into court, I would give my appearance, and judges would say to me, "Are you a lawyer?" They let me know, you don't look like folks that come in here and practice law. It was obvious to me when I was on the municipal court bench. People would look at me and they were so puzzled. And the message that they would send to me is, why are you there and how did you get there? And what I have tried to live by throughout my career and my life is I don't let other people define who I am, where I'm going, or what I should be. I determine where I will enter and where I will leave in life.